So really fast, before I start, I want to credit Real Radman for really bringing this debate back to the forefront, whether or not Kyle Busch is a superstar and if NASCAR in general can have a current superstar. So with the results of this, it would seem like a no-brainer that NASCAR has a superstar. Hell, I even voted yes in a knee-jerk reaction. But the more I thought about it, and the more I disagreed with my original pick. If we speak in terms of just NASCAR and its fans, I'd say that Kyle Busch would be a superstar in that regard, in a small sense. But in the broad sense of the word, he's not even close. To be a superstar, you have to move the needle and get attention for the sport from people who otherwise wouldn't even give the sport a second look. In other sports, you see this as well, such as in the NFL with guys like Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers. And to be completely honest, NASCAR doesn't have anyone close to that status running today. The closest active driver you could make an argument for would probably be Jimmy Johnson, then probably Kyle Busch. But if you ask any non-NASCAR fans what their favorite drivers are, who do you think they're more than likely going to pick? Probably Jeff Gordon. Maybe Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Tony Stewart? Maybe Rusty Wallace. And for some even, Dale Earnhardt Sr. But what do all those drivers have in common? None of them are racing in the current year. And that is one of NASCAR's biggest issues right now when it comes to gaining popularity. But moving forward, there is a bit of a bright side. Superstars can be made out of circumstance. With NASCAR having a sort of villain with Kyle Busch, there is an opening for a driver to step in and be the hero driver the sport needs. Back in the 90s, it was Dale Earnhardt that was a villain driver to the sport, and a void was left open for a hero driver and filled by none other than Jeff Gordon. Gordon being a fresh new face to Earnhardt's grizzly veteran status made NASCAR a marketing goldmine. But there's one thing about this that NASCAR needs to remember. They need to remember that this rivalry came naturally through racing each other for both wins and championships. Now, on top of the racing needing to be top-notch, we also need a driver with a reach outside of just NASCAR fans as well. Someone who can be normally seen on stuff like mainstream news shows, popular TV shows, as well as popular sports channels like ESPN. This again can't be forced, but instead has to come out of popular demand. To legitimize a driver's superstar status, NASCAR can't force them down everyone's throats when there is no demand for it. So who could be NASCAR's next superstar? There's a few drivers that could. Chase Elliott right now is probably the most popular driver amongst fans, but outside of the sport, he doesn't have much of a reach. Maybe Ryan Blaney? If he could perform better and compete for championships, with his great personality, it could be enough to move the needle. Bubba Wallace could also be a great driver for NASCAR if his performance improved. Being a successful African-American driver could have the same effect for NASCAR that Tiger Woods' success has for golf. But in my opinion, I think the next driver that really has a great shot at being NASCAR's next true superstar is Hailie Deegan. While being quite young at 17, Deegan has already been in the mainstream, in shows like Ridiculousness, on sports shows, and even on news shows. She has the financial backing and support to be able to fully develop into a great driver in the coming years and not be forced forward too quickly. Also, Deegan has a natural talent, being able to run for wins in just about anything she drives. But I think that I've said enough. I want to know what you think. What do you think? Is Hailie Deegan the next driver that's going to be a superstar in NASCAR, or am I completely wrong about her or my stance on NASCAR drivers in general right now? Is there a superstar right now? Let me know down below. And until next time, have a good one.